Part 82. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 811. Chapter 811. Give me a pillow if you feel sleepy. Ji-sun had no direct interest relationship with Lao Mu, and he was much younger, so he did not communicate directly with Lao Mu. Mr. Wang helped to block it. Lao Mu couldn't even talk to him alone, except for simple communication at the dinner table. Ji Xian and Zhang Junlin exchanged words. Old Mu came to Grandpa's house for dinner. Ignore him, Zhang Junlin said, don't talk to him. Are you afraid that I will betray you? He is using whatever means he can to win over you. He may use Black Hawk's interests to win over you, Zhang Junlin said. Old Mu's style is simple and rough. Whatever you like, he will cater to you. Then he probably catered to the wrong person. Zhang Junlin said, go home early and rest. No. Zhang Junlin put down his mobile phone, but he was more sure of one thing. There were few things that Lao Mu was bound to win. Ye Ling definitely had enough bargaining chips to let him beg for help in such a lowly manner. Basically, everyone related to Zhang Junlin, Lao Mu after searching, but under the condition that he could no longer attack Zhang Junlin, Lao Mu searched for all the connections he could find. He was very persistent and was not afraid of other people's comments. He didn't care about face and ignored gossip. Others even said that he had a warm face but a cold buttocks for his juniors. He doesn't care if he loses his identity. To achieve his goal, he doesn't care about anything. Zhang Junlin called Lao Mu directly. Uncle, my only condition is that Ye Ling returns to China and talks face to face with me. Otherwise, whoever comes will not count. Even if you work hard at Black Eagle, it will be useless. If Xiao Yun does this, if you and I plot against each other and the relationship deteriorates, this account may also be settled, and you will lose more than you gain. Lao Mu was driving outside. After putting down the phone, he asked Mr. Wang, do you dare to believe that a junior talks to me like this? Okay, don't complain when Ye Ling's condition gets better, let him go back to his country. Who knows when he will be in better condition, Lao Mu said. This generation of young people are really stubborn. Lao Wang couldn't laugh or cry. You go fishing with me when you have nothing to do, don't worry about it all the time. 1% of the things require 99% of the energy. I have realized it, Lao Mu said. Your grandson is really good. Before he even left the house, Zhang Junlin received the news. They are also half enemies, can't we hide some little secrets from each other? Lao Wang. Lao Mu returned home frustrated. However, as soon as Lao Mu returned home, the intelligence officer brought him a stack of information. Lao Mu looked at the photos and asked in disbelief, is this news reliable? Reliable, said the intelligence officer. Absolutely true. Lao Mu laughed loudly. Old Chen, I didn't expect that you also have children's debts. On the photos, there are photos of Rong Li accompanying Qin Wan for prenatal check UPS, photos of Qin Wan and Rong Li at the Global Library, and photos of Rong Li sending Qin Wan home. Where does this come from? Some time ago, someone saw Rong Li delivering late-night snacks to Qin Wan in the middle of the night. They thought he looked familiar, but they didn't expect it was Rong Li, the intelligence officer said. The only thing uncertain is whether Qin Wan's child is his or hers. The pregnancy test doctor couldn't get through, and the test couldn't be done for the time being, and the Chen family didn't release the news. That's so easy, let's spread the news, Lao Mu said. Let the news go out and say that Qin Wan is pregnant with Rong Li's child. The intelligence agent said, yes. Wait a minute. Lao Mu rubbed his hands excitedly. Who else knows about this? I just gave you a report. Stop the news for now, let me think about it. Lao Mu suppressed his excitement. It's so timely to give me a pillow if I'm sleepy. I will work hard to get another 10,000 points tomorrow. End of this chapter. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 812. Chapter 812. I'll give you all the children. Qinhuan made an appointment with Rong Li to meet at the Universal Library. Rong Li said softly, "Near your home. You're pregnant. Don't run around. I'll go see you." It was impossible for Qinhuan to make an appointment with him at home, so she made an appointment at a small dessert shop near her home park. When Rong Li came, he also brought 3 boxes of birds' nests. His employees were on a business trip, so he asked him to bring them back for Qinhuan to replenish the body. Qinhuan didn't say much and took the bird's nest from him. Qinhuan looked at Rong Li and chuckled and said, "After the child is born, if you want to raise it, I will give it to you. I have the right to visit." Rong Li frowned and looked at her silently. Qinhuan stroked her belly. After becoming pregnant, her eyes became a little softer. "I thought about it very seriously. I am a soldier. I am homeless all year round and have heavy tasks. Everything I obey the order. I will be in Sitia this year, and maybe I will be abroad next year. After having children, my parents will take care of them more, but children need their parents, and I can't always accompany them. I hope you can accompany them when they grow up. I don't want the 2 children to be separated, so I'll give them to you together." Rong Li felt a lump in his throat. He had thought about countless possibilities, but he had never thought of this one. Qinhuan spread his hands and said, "Actually, when I first came to see you with the report sheet, I just wanted to tell you that it is your child. After it is born, I will give it to you and you will raise it. If you don't want it, I will consider other plans." A lot of things happened during this period, some good and some very bad. I am also very confused. I forgot my original intention for a moment. In fact, my original thought was the best for my children, you and me. Have you decided yet? Qinhuan nodded cautiously. This was her thought after careful consideration. My parents want to take care of their children. You can't stop them, okay? Have they all agreed? I will convince them, Qinhuan said. This is your child and mine. We can just discuss it. It's not that she doesn't love her children, on the contrary, she feels that this is the best decision for her children. Her identity means that she is destined to spend less time with her children and stay away from them more. Unless she gives up her military uniform, she will not be able to be a loving mother. Rong Li's eyes drooped slightly. This was not his ideal plan, and he naturally didn't want to accept it. He raised his head and looked at Qinhuan. "Okay, I understand. You agree. You have thought about it carefully. What reason do I have to object?" Rong Li said lightly. "The child will always be our bond. The first encounter between you and I was not a good one. The pregnancy of the child was also an accident. Everything is not the same perfect. We don't have sweet love, compatible souls, mutual understanding, and love. Neither do you have the romance that girls want. There's nothing wrong with you rejecting me, but I still want to pursue you, and I hope you can give me a chance." Qinhuan was slightly startled. "Rong Li, I made it very clear. You and I can't be together. I won't embarrass my master and father because of you. Just treat it as a beautiful accident and forget about it." Rong Li thought to himself, how free and easy he is. If you say forget, forget it. If you say let go, just let it go. She thought about it for so long, which means that she was shaken. Although she finally chose family and gave up on him, at least for a moment, she was shaken, right? Rong Li doesn't want to humiliate herself, but she stubbornly believes that one day, she can change her mind. I hope you know what I mean. One day you want to start a family. At least, I have priority, right? Qinhuan didn't like this kind of entanglement. "Rong Li, is it possible that you have some complex? It's not like I have to do it." Rong Li laughed sarcastically. "You're not me, how do you know what I'm thinking?" End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 813. Chapter 813. I'll give you all the children too. Chinwan refused wrongly to send him off, so she went home for a walk. She was in good health and had walked frequently during her pregnancy. She was not afraid that the neighbors would see her pregnant belly, which was very generous. Before Wrongly left, he asked her if she had ever been tempted to have a home with him and his children in the past few months. Chinwan said coldly, no. She rarely lies. He rarely feels guilty and dare not truly face his heart. Chinwan is an orphan. She has known since she was a child that she was an abandoned child. After she arrived at an adoptive family, her adoptive parents treated her well at first. Later, after the adoptive parents had a child, her treatment plummeted. When she was a teenager, she desperately wanted a home, a real home for her, a family that would not abandon her. As she grew up, Jang Junlin took over the role of her family, nurturing her, loving her, and protecting her, so she regarded Jang Junlin as her master and brother. After having her parents, she has grown up and has formed her own views. She does not need the love of her parents. She knows that her parents love her very much. In fact, she does not believe the pessimistic words. The misfortune of childhood takes a lifetime to heal. But subconsciously, she has been compensating for herself, so she bought many houses. When she was very young, watching other children being led into the house by their parents, she knew that a house is a person's haven and a person's haven's home. But no matter how many houses there are, they are not actually homes. She doesn't feel that she needs a house to heal herself. It's all about her feelings. In fact, to a certain extent, she has been compensating for herself, but at the same time, she also clearly knows that someone loves her, and she does not need to cure a broken childhood. She has a strong enough heart to face the future life. She cherishes her hard-won family and does not want to hurt Chen Liangdong and Zhang Junlin. She also understands one thing very clearly in her heart. When you become an adult, your parents' home is not your home. The child will be her new home. She shouldn't give up her children to others, but she has carefully thought about her career, development, and ambitions, and feels that leaving her children to Wrongly is the best arrangement. She cannot take care of them. Perhaps her parents can take good care of her. But her parents are not the parents of her child. If she insists on being with Wrongly, she will hurt a lot of people and break a lot of balances. Wrongly knew it, so he waited for her to make a decision. In fact, they all know that Juliet and Romeo are tragedies. Chinwan returned home with the bird's nest and watered the coriander in the yard. The coriander and green pepper were harvested. She took the scissors, cut the coriander and green pepper and put them in the basket, but Wrongly's face kept appearing in her mind. He was actually serious. Chinwan always thought that Wrongly confessed his love for the sake of his children. He wants to give his children a complete home. You're about to get the scissors North, and Chen Liangdong entered the door and walked over quickly. Chen Liangdong took away her scissors. What are you thinking about, so absorbed? I'm thinking about what to eat for dinner. Chinwan chuckled and said, Dad, I want tiger skin and green peppers, and I also want green peppers stuffed with meat. Okay, I'll do it for you. North asked with a smile, the day before yesterday, I said I didn't want to eat spicy food, but I want to eat it again. I want to eat. Chinwan smiled and offered to Chen Liangdong. North also saw the bird's nest on the side and said nothing. After dinner, the family of three went out for a walk, and Chinwan dropped a bomb, I'm with you today. Wrongly has talked about it and will give it all to him after the child is born. Dr. North. Chen Liangdong. End of this chapter. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 814. Chapter 814. This topic is difficult to answer. Chen Liangdong and North were both shocked and speechless by the news. Why? How can I take care of my children when I'm away from home all year round? Qin Wan said with a smile. It's still a pair of twin boys. We can take care of it, North said. She didn't agree with giving the child to Rong Li. What should she say? Qin Wan said, Mom, Dad, you are also very busy at work. Besides, it is very tiring to take care of children. If it is a daughter, that's fine. If it is a boy, Dad should still take care of it. You don't need to persuade me. I have already decided. You want to have children, yes, let Rong Li send it over at any time. Chen Liangdong said disapprovingly, for such a big decision, at least discuss it with us. I know you feel sorry for me. Letting Rong Li take care of my child does not mean that we are not family members. Just treat Rong Li and I as divorced, and the custody rights will be awarded to my son. What if your child blames you in the future? Won't you be sad? Children are resentful towards their parents because their parents treat them badly, or one parent always says bad things about the other parent. I believe Rong Li will not do that, Qin Wan said. Dad, I'll leave this matter to you and my uncle. Say it. Speak for yourself. I wouldn't dare. Do I dare? Chen Liangdong said angrily. He knows that you are so happy to have twin children and that your grandchildren are very prosperous. Aren't you trying to dig out his heart? Let's give one child the surname Chen. North couldn't laugh or cry. Although he didn't agree with it, he knew that Qin Wan's arrangement was actually the best for the children. The children did not need to be separated. They could stay with their father or mother, whichever was fine. Rong Li agreed. Agree. This is also troublesome. After the child is born, we will move around frequently. Chen Liangdong was also worried. What should we do? How will we make excuses then? I'll teach you. Qin Wan blinked. Just say that my master sent me to work as an undercover agent at Black Hawk, and I got pregnant through a honey trap. After giving birth to the child, I left it to Rong Li. It's that simple. Chen Liangdong. North, get out. Qin Wan stuck out his tongue. Mom, you are too cruel. If you really say that, Zhang Junlin and your reputation will be ruined by your father's face. North glared at her. Don't come up with bad ideas. Let's figure out how to solve this matter. Qin Wan didn't care, since his parents had taken care of it anyway. After her worries were gone, Qin Wan's appetite improved and her weight slowly increased. The doctors asked her to eat less and control the child's weight to avoid suffering. Lao Mu's intelligence officer also heard the news. Lao Mu, he asked in disbelief. After the baby was born, they were all given to Rong Li. Their family didn't want it. Yes, I don't want any. The intelligence officer was also surprised. Lao Mu was stunned. Is Lao Chen crazy? I can agree with this. This is his grandson. You don't want two big fat boys? What are they thinking? If Mu Yuan has two big fat boys, whoever dares to rob him will be killed by him. What should I do? Lao Mu had a series of plans for this matter, but he was put off by Qin Wan's decision. To be honest, am I unable to keep up with the trend? Or are they too different? I don't understand the world of young people very well. Woolen cloth. Whether it was Ji Sun, Zhang Junlin, or Qin Wan, he didn't understand any of them. Silence is golden for information officers. General, it's not easy for us to take on this topic. No, I have to go to the National Security Bureau. End of this chapter. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 815. Chapter 815. Rong Li is no longer confident. The plan could not keep up with the change. Lao Mu had not yet gone to see Chen Liangdong. When news came back from Paris that Ye Ling could go back to China, Lao Mu was shocked. He has been released from the lunatic asylum. General, that's a mental hospital. Old Mu thought to himself, the old housekeeper's words were very clever. Aren't a mental hospital and a lunatic asylum the same thing? Is he emotionally stable? If he is emotionally unstable, it will be self-defeating. Zhang Junlin doesn't like emotionally unstable people. Lao Mu has been in contact with Zhang Junlin for such a long time, and he also knows Zhang Junlin's taboos. He hates irritable people and likes when dealing with smart people. Ye Ling is inherently mentally ill. If he is emotionally unstable, Zhang Junlin will directly kick him out. Young master can return to China, please don't worry. To be honest, Lao Mu is not so reassured, but now is the only chance. Zhang Junlin's attitude is even tougher than Ye Ling's. If they ask for something from others, they will naturally have to give in. Lao Mu has no choice but to send Zhang Junlin's information to Ruth. The housekeeper told him, before Ye Ling returns home, he must memorize Zhang Junlin's information. Okay, don't worry. Old Mu breathed a sigh of relief. It was a good thing that someone could finally break the deadlock. Old Mu did not tell Zhang Junlin in detail that Ye Ling's situation was unstable. After he returned to China, his condition was confirmed. Only Lao Mu would contact Zhang Junlin. Wrongly bought some parenting books to read. Recently, when he had nothing to do, he would read the parenting books and watch parenting videos. He also contacted 2 confinement nanny in advance. Ji Sun was a little uncomfortable and said, "You are going to be a full-time nanny, Dad." Wrongly said, "After Qin Wan gives birth to a child, the custody rights will be given to me." Ji Sun was overjoyed. "What? Give you both children?" "Right." Ji Sun was overjoyed and asked, "Wait a minute, you haven't even left your father and left your son." Roll. Ji Sun was very surprised. After Qin Wan gave birth to the child, he took it for granted that the child belonged to Qin Wan and would not be given to Rong Li. After all, she was the mother and could not be snatched away. It was a joke to encourage Rong Li to have a child. It was best the ending is that they can fall in love and form a healthy and harmonious family, although it is a bit difficult because the backgrounds of both parties do not allow it. Unexpectedly, Qin Wan would give the child to Rong Li. She is so free and easy. Ji Sun admired him, but he could actually understand Qin Wan. She was a soldier. Although she had a certain degree of autonomy in being mobilized, she was really out of control. She was also a woman, so she had to pay 10 times or 100 times more than others. With so much effort, there will inevitably be very little time left for the children. Give it to Rong Li, which is also a good choice. Should I read a parenting book with you? Ji Xian said enthusiastically. Have you chosen a name? Rong Li shook his head. He was not in a good mood recently, and his expectations were disappointed. No one was in a bad mood, but he is a mature man who knows how to choose and will not cause trouble to others. Qin Wan is not a girl who can be impressed by him just by stalking her. If he really stalks her, his impression points will be immediately lost. It was better to retreat than to advance. During Qin Wan's pregnancy, other than taking care of Qin Wan, he would not put any pressure on Qin Wan. He didn't know who to turn to for advice. What frustrated him the most was that Qin Wan didn't seem to like him at all. Ji Sun, am I really bad? Ji Sun. What did Qin Wan say that made him so downcast? Who dares to say that you are bad? You are handsome, a top student at Harvard, you can play and make money, you can support a family, you are charming, and you are confident. Ji Sung didn't think Rong Li was bad at all. Why are blind dates rejected? Being rejected on a blind date has nothing to do with whether you are good or not, it's just a matter of a lack of harmony in your aura. So many people are at odds with your aura, but you still need to reflect on it. Duplicity. It's really not true you don't like people and they reject you. What do you have to be sad about? Is it possible that if someone is interested in you, you will associate with them. Won't. That's it, don't bother yourself. So you were rejected by Chinwan. Ji-sun raised his eyebrows and asked, did she criticize your shortcomings? The only thing that can make an arrogant man feel frustrated is that he was rejected by the woman he loved. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 816. Chapter 816, Palace Scheme. No, what frustrated Wrongly was not that Chinwan criticized his shortcomings, but that he had no advantages that attracted Chinwan. Although he complained about Ji-sun and Jang Junlin, he really envied Ji-sun for meeting a person. The person who devoted all his efforts. The way he looked at Jang Junlin, everyone could see how infatuated he was, but he was not such a person in Chinwan. Even if children are a bond, they cannot bring about feelings. Don't think about it, just let nature take its course. Wrongly mocked, I advised you to let nature take its course. Did you listen? You have the ability to imitate me and break his legs. I dare you, but you dare. Wrongly. It's not that he doesn't dare, it's that he won't do it. There is a big difference in the way of doing things between normal people and mentally ill people. Seeing that he was dejected, Ji-sun couldn't help but say, let me tell you a piece of news. Ye Ling is going back to China to meet his brother. It might be an opportunity. If the Jida gives it to him, Chen Liangdong won't have to be tied to a boat. In the future, there may not be any room for maneuver, so don't worry too much. You go and blow the pillow. Forget it, the pillow wind I blew on didn't work for a while. What's the use of you? Ji-sun. I really feel sorry for you for nothing. Without saying a word, Ji-sun took the pillow and beat him. You can go and be depressed alone. Ye Ling was going back to China. Jang Junlin received the news immediately. He originally thought that he would see someone within a week, but who knew that Ye Ling would only return home after half a month. Gu Zio said that in addition to the lunatic asylum, he stayed there for 3 days. Obviously the situation was not stable, so he took a sedative and got on the plane. Jang Junlin looked very bad after hearing this. Lao Mu didn't mention it, and he was not in a hurry. Ji-sun had never seen anyone more calm than him. This matter involved Wrongly and Chinwan. Jang Junlin did not tell Ji-sun in too much detail. He also knew Chinwan's decision. To be honest, he was not surprised at all and did not interfere in this matter. After the plane landed, Lao Mu met with Ye Ling and made sure that he was in stable condition before mentioning it to Jang Junlin. Jang Junlin did not make things difficult for him and agreed to meet. Ji Xian asked, Third Master, please guess the ending. I didn't install a spy on him, how could I guess the outcome? Lu Ziwen actually didn't care about this matter. Black Hawk's crisis had been resolved long ago. Jang Junlin's decision would not affect Black Hawk, so who would he give it to? Lu Ziwen couldn't care less. If he really wanted to be selfish, he didn't want Ziyu to pick him up. It was too dangerous. Ziyu would just follow Chen Liangdong's path smoothly in the future. There was no need to add blood to his career. Do you know what Ziyu secretly talked to his brother about yesterday? This kid can't hide his ambition, so there's no need to guess Lu Ziwen's side. It's a good thing, but it's not a good thing either. Brother said the same thing Ji Xian said. In fact, from the bottom of his heart, he was not willing to give to Qiuwen. He forced Ye Ling to return to the country for a meeting. He just wanted to strengthen his own ideas. Don't look at how he treated Lao Mu so much. Toughness, in fact, it has been tilted for a long time. If Lao Mu persists for another month, my brother will give him a step. It's a pity that Lao Mu has a bad temper and is eager to get results when he does something. He has been struggling with this matter for several months. He really can't wait any longer. One more thing, Qinwan is pregnant with Rong Li's child. It's his brother, the intelligence officer, who deliberately disclosed it to Lao Mu. Just wanted to see what Lao Mu would do. Whenever Lao Mu went to Chen Liangdong about this matter, he would not even meet Ye Ling and make a decision directly. The person next to your pillow knows you best. Ji Huan was fortunate to be from Black Eagle and not from Lao Mu. Otherwise, Zhang Junlin may not be able to succeed in the palace's scheming. Rong Li felt unhappy when he heard this. How dare he deliberately reveal the news? What if old Mu really has his own thoughts? Ji Sun defended Zhang Junlin. How many times have you gone to her prenatal checkup with her and shown up near her home? In the future, your children will be given to you. Sooner or later, you will know the difference. That's different too. What's the difference? Ji Sun said. Don't worry, as long as the ending is good. Rong Li frowned. Okay, if you have any leverage in the future, I'll negotiate a deal, as long as it ends well. Ji Sun. Moi. End of this chapter. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 817. Chapter 817. The Simple Rich Third Generation. Although Lu Ziwen said he didn't care about Zhang Junlin's choice at all, Ji Xian still cared about it. He also had selfish motives. He hoped that Zhang Junlin could make an early decision and hand over the power. In this way, Zhang Junlin would be much safer. It would be great to be a financial giant. Has power and money, runs a bank, everyone wants to have a good relationship with him, no one will hurt him, he only wants to make money and world peace. Gu Ziyu once revealed the ending of Zhang Junlin's previous life. Ji Xian refused to accept such an ending. This matter can be regarded as his inner demon. However, neither Ziyu nor Zhang Junlin returned home. Ji Xian accompanied his grandparents and they had a meal. After the meal, he sent a message to Zhang Junlin, and Zhang Qiang replied, saying that neither the master nor the young master would go home for dinner today. Ji Sun said, "Is this still talking about one day and one night? Why did you bring Ziyu there too?" Ji Sun was puzzled and went back to work at Universal at night. Lu Ziwen has been busy with Dynasty Racing Team recently. His skills and body can still compete, but he is also very interested in the things behind the scenes. He has always wanted to create a dream team. This year the team did not have a championship, and the overall points dropped. Apart from some secret connections in Blackhawk, he focused all his energy on the Dynasty team. Ji Xian didn't expect that Rong Li would race with Lu Ziwen. I'll come too. There is a lot of work, you go to work. Why? You took your vacation during the new year, and it was me and the third master who worked. Now it's your turn to repay it, Rong Li said. Those who are able work hard, come on. I don't want to, let's play a game. Ji Sun made a challenge, we will talk about it after you win. You are so brave, why don't you compare yourself with the third master? Am I crazy? How can I compare with the third master? Stop talking nonsense, don't compare. Come. Ji Sun and Rong Li both have their own racing cars. Their hobbies are greatly influenced by Lu Ziwen. They both like racing and will run laps when they have nothing to do. Recently, the Dynasty team went to Haikan for training. The training venues around the world are almost there weren't many people there, just some trained young drivers. Ji Xian and Rong Li were on the same starting line. Lu Ziwen stood with his arms crossed and said calmly, let's start. Before he finished speaking, Ji Xian stepped on the accelerator and drove out. Rong Li followed him while cursing, you are cheating. You are old and your reaction is too slow, Ji Sun said with a smile. Just wait, Rong Li sneered, I will definitely beat you today. Come on, Ji Sun is not afraid of challenges. Lu Ziwen put his hands on the railing, climbed up gently and sat down, watching the competition between Ji Sun and Rong Li. In Lu Ziwen's eyes, their speed was just for fun. He could run at such a speed even if he was underage. There was no skill at all, just a pure show of speed. Wrongly deliberately jammed Ji-sun when passing the corner. Ji-sun failed to control his speed well and drifted out. Tisk, Lu Ziwen was so happy that he would hit the wall if he drifted another meter. Ji-sun was angry. Wrongly, you bastard, you dare to bump into me. Don't spit on people with your blood, young man. Wrongly was half a lap ahead of Ji Xian, young and energetic, not stable enough. You are called incompetent and furious. Ji-sun gritted his teeth and chased after him. 1 lap doesn't count, just 2 laps. You think beautifully. Admit that you are old and have lost your physical strength. The provoking method is useless, it's a standard round. Ji-sun was forced off the track by Wrongly, so he naturally fell behind. Since they had almost the same speed and skills, he naturally couldn't catch up. If Lu Ziwen could definitely catch up, Ji-sun was different. He was not a professional racing driver. Wrongly reached the key point 5 seconds earlier than Ji-sun, and deliberately slowed down to mock him. Ji-sun took off his helmet and asked Lu Ziwen for support. Third master, he seeks wealth and harms life. You're not as good as others, stop shouting. Lu Ziwen couldn't help but laugh. It didn't matter if he was really going to hit him. He was wearing protective clothing. This was a training track and the protection was very good. Are they ganging up to bully me? Your skills are not even comparable to Guxi's. Xiao Si I was taught by you. Didn't I teach you? How many days have you been teaching me? Ji-sun shouted. I suspect you have dealt with me every time. Lu Ziwen was in disbelief. How can you throw away all the blame if you lose? Wrongly lit a cigarette and handed one to Ji Xian. He took it and held it in his mouth. He stretched out his head and touched the cigarette with the cigarette that Wrongly lit. By the way, he said about Zhang Junlin and Ziyu, brother he Ziyu won't go home tonight, we should be talking for a long time. What is he taking Ziyu to do? Lu Ziwen raised his eyebrows. Ji-sun spread his hands and said, I don't know. Wrongly puffed out smoke and said lazily, Chen Liangdong is at home tonight. I chatted with Qin Wan during dinner. He was still at home cooking dinner, so Zhang Junlin took his son Yu there alone. Theoretically, Chen Liangdong and Ziyu should be brought together. Interesting. Wrongly raised his eyebrows and asked, we don't know Yeling very well, but people who covet that position will not be willing to make wedding clothes for others. When Zhang Junlin brought his son to meet him, his attitude was very obvious. If I were Yeling, I wouldn't be very happy. Happy? Ji-sun didn't care, the negotiation itself is inherently unequal. The Mu family and Yeling don't have enough bargaining chips to negotiate with their brother, so they naturally have to compromise. What can they do if they are unhappy? That's what I say, but it's hard to say that Yeling is only in his early 20s when he is an emperor and a courtier. Ziyu is only 14, even younger. Do you have to argue with me today? There is absolutely no conscience in heaven and earth. I have always told the truth. Ji-sun glanced at him. Are you unhappy in your relationship and are you angry with me? Lu Ziwen was too lazy to listen to their quarrel and was thoughtful. Ji-sun asked, Third master, what are you thinking about? I'm thinking about what I would do if I were Zhang Junlin. Lu Ziwen thought about the problem and was able to think from his perspective. The people in Jidao have been loyal to the Zhang family for generations. Even if they give it to Yeling, as long as Zhang Junlin lives, Zhang Junlin's orders always take precedence over others. It is impossible for Zhang Junlin not to think of this. There is really no need to bring Gu Ziyu with him. I don't understand this move. What is Yeling's character like? Who knows about a mentally ill person's character? Wrongly complained and asked Ji-sun, why do you care about his character? Ji-sun blew out a smoke ring and felt a little uneasy. If I were Yeling, the people in my hands would not obey the discipline, but obeyed another person's words and were not loyal to me. All I can think of is to get rid of him. Completely win over people's hearts. Lu Ziwen wrongly mocked, third master, let me just say it, the neurotic understands the neurotic. None of us thought of this problem. He only thought of it himself. Isn't this obvious? Lu Ziwen shook his head, the person Lao Mu pushed up will not kill innocent people indiscriminately. Regardless of his character for the time being, he must do things in a measured way. You are overthinking. That's not necessarily the case. Chen Lianzhu and my grandfather were not bent on killing my brother. Aren't they decent people? Who can say that they killed innocent people indiscriminately? They were both loyal and self-sacrificing throughout their lives. If you are so worried, just go and kill Yeling. I heard that his strength is very high. I don't know if you can beat him, wrongly said, third master, do you think he has a chance? Hang Ji Sun. Lu Ziwen said, since we are withdrawing from the stage of power, we should not worry so much and concentrate on making money. Wrongly frowned, it doesn't really count as quitting. We are related. Lu Ziwen lowered his head and smiled, and glanced at Ji Sun and wrongly, anyway, you will be in charge of Black Eagle from now on, and your descendants will manage the property. You can worry about it yourself and just leave me alone. Third master, are you really not considering having another child? Wrongly said, Black Hawk has such a big industry, we always feel guilty, as if we have taken away your kingdom. The Black Eagle itself is not mine. Lu Ziwen spread his hands. If you don't bring it with you in life, you won't take it with you in death. Xiu has a share of the Zhang family's inheritance, which is enough. He can't have all the good things happen to him alone. He wants to be like this. It's useless to have more money. Xiu doesn't seem to be a person who spends money like water. Lu Ziwen's coat is Gu Xiu's annual purchase expense. The young man should not be too frugal with his money, nor should he be extravagant and wasteful. He is a rather simple rich third generation. End of this chapter. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 818. Chapter 818. Friendship is about to break down. Gu Xiu came back in the morning. The young man was full of energy and was an expert at staying up late. His face was still glowing after staying up all night. He felt like he could run another 10 kilometers. He was wearing a t-shirt and jeans. He was a handsome young man with unparalleled looks. He came in the morning light. At that time, the family members who were used to seeing his appearance felt that their eyes lit up and they were extremely amazed. The longer Gu Xiu grew, the less he looked like Gu Xi and Lu Ziwen. He was a combined version, specifically picking out the advantages of his parents, and his profile was more pleasing to the eye than Lu Ziwen. Because he is a young man, his facial lines are very soft, giving people a soft and waxy feeling. He is really a handsome young man. You stayed up all night, and you're still so energetic, Ji Sun asked with a smile, and pulled out the chair next to him. Gu Xiu greeted the parents, took Ms. Gui's hot towel to wipe her hands, and took a piece of corn to chew. After breakfast, I have to go to work. I'm not sleepy at all. There's nothing urgent. Let's go after a nap. It won't delay things. You're still growing. The old lady peeled the tea eggs for him and poured him milk. It's okay, I'm really not sleepy, Xiao Xiu said with a smile. There is something urgent to deal with. He was in a very good mood. Ji Sun thought, the negotiation must go smoothly. Brother, why didn't I come back with you? He and Yeling have other things to discuss. Why does this name seem familiar? The old lady asked. Is it the eldest grandson of the Ye family who is abroad? Does our family have business to discuss with the Ye family? It's my uncle who has some business to discuss with him. The smile on Gu Xiu's face couldn't be hidden. He was very similar to the third master. They were both children who loved to laugh. The stern face of the third master in his childhood had long since disappeared from everyone's memory. Is he really a psychopath? Ji Sun asked, gossiping. He's not sick. How do I know? His mood is quite stable, Guzio thought to himself. Maybe he took medicine and talked to his uncle again. Anyway, I didn't see that he was mentally ill. How are people? Guzio thought for a while and said, Uncle doesn't like it very much, but I think it's okay. He and I talked relatively smoothly. Ji-sun, you are the main force in negotiations. Yes. Brother, what do you mean? He thinks it is beneath his status to talk to Yeling, so he sent you there. No, I have something to talk to him about, so let me talk to him first, Guzio said, so I talked more smoothly. I don't know if they will go smoothly later. How can it be like this? Ji-sun felt incredible. What could Zio talk to him about? Zio went upstairs after breakfast and took a simple shower. When he came downstairs, Ji-sun had not left yet. If you don't go to work, Uncle may not be able to come back today. I'll take you to work. Oh. The two of them spoke to their families, and Nick sent them to work. Zio's guard Joe Shai when followed behind. Be serious, how are the yelling people? I just met him once, but I can't tell. Aren't you a good judge of people? Aren't you pretty domineering? More domineering than your uncle. That's not true. Guzio touched his chin and thought of another word, not as domineering as his uncle, but more feudal than his uncle. Many of his ideas are more traditional and typical of patriarchal thinking. Let's be chauvinistic and give back the patriarchal power. Ji-sun rolled his eyes and imagined an old man in his mind. Isn't he only in his early 20s? That's right, young man, Guzio said, you are almost the same age as me. He paused and said, she's very beautiful. Prettier than you. No nonsense, of course. Guzio was particularly confident in his appearance. You asked Yeling what he was doing, you and he have nothing to do with each other. There are rumors that he is mentally ill. I'm afraid that he will be detrimental to my brother after he gets the ultimate. You. Guzio reached out and touched his forehead. Are you talking nonsense when you have a fever? Isn't this a normal thought? You are mentally ill, right? Not to mention that he has to abide by the law in special circumstances. Even if something happens to him, it will be too late for him to protect his uncle. If something happens to his uncle, he will definitely send someone to protect him. Don't worry. Guzio said, although Lao Mu pushed him up, he may not really become Lao Mu's person. Lao Mu should get other resources from him, on the condition that he push him up. I know. There is a European mine resource, all of which are rare resources. The development rights were given to Lao Mu, which was directly given to the military. Other conditions have not yet been worked out. Yeling is also very ambitious and will definitely remain neutral. He will not do it easily. Standing in line, Lao Mu is so active in showing others. You have such a dirty heart, how can you still be like this? This is called gaming, Guzio said, it's very complicated. Anyway, just make money. Don't worry about these things. I'll take care of it. Ji-sun was worried. Guzio, how are you going to fall in love in the future? With so many evil thoughts, how can any girl like you? Why should I fall in love? Guzio was confused. I am fine by myself, why should I find someone to cause trouble? Ji-sun patted him on the shoulder and said, let's keep this idea until we are 60. Didn't you expect me to have a second child when you were 20? Ji-sun. You are so changeable, Guzio complained. Nick chuckled and said, if you keep talking, the friendship will break down. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 819. Chapter 819. It's just alcohol. Chin Wan received the news in the evening. Zhang Junlin made an appointment with Qiuwen to discuss the business transfer. He made a decision to divide the Jidao business into finance, information, and operations. In addition to finance, overseas espionage operations, support, dispatch, and information collection were all handed over to Special Intelligence, and Chen Liangdong was asked to coordinate and arrange the merger. The Jidao Information Center was divided into two. One part worked for Chang Junlin's financial group, and the other part was consolidated to Qiuwen. In fact, it did two things. According to the division, Chen Liangdong wants to take away half of the talents of the Special Intelligence Center, including the talent reserve. The JIDA has a very complete talent training system, and all of it has been handed over to Teking. The three parties are taking the lead in this matter, and Lao Mu is the guarantor. Although it will cause some turmoil, there is a high probability that it can be cut smoothly. Zhang Junlin's burden it became lighter instantly. The Zhang family was finally able to get out of the Jidao ship and no longer be tied together. When Qin Wan heard the news, there were only rumors and it had not been confirmed yet. He felt very complicated. The master made such a decision. Forced. Whether it is him and Ji Sun, or she and Rong Li, or their children in the future, it is indeed not appropriate to be tied to the extreme. Chinese people all pay attention to a certain degree in the way they deal with things, so the whole world evaluates China as moderate. In many things, going too far will inevitably lead to decline. When the boat has reached a high point, it is necessary to change the direction appropriately. This is the root of the long-term prosperity of the family. In this matter, they are stuck together and helping each other, but if he handed it over sincerely, that might not be the case. He would still have some regrets. Qin Wan could only pray that Ye Ling would not betray Zhang Junlin's trust. Qin Wan stroked her bulging belly and felt relieved. This matter finally had an ending. No matter what the reason was for this ending, Qin Wan hoped that no one would regret it more than 20 years later. North said, "Don't think so much. I can't bear to think about it." Qin Wan was thinking more about Zhang Junlin. This matter is very sad. If the Zhang family keeps holding the Jida, their descendants will be educated in the same way, and they can maintain the prosperity of the family for hundreds of years. Now that it has been handed over, it is hard to say what will happen in the future. He attaches great importance to inheritance. If, decades later, the Zhang family and Ziu end up badly because of today's decision, he will probably feel very sad. There is a saying that children and grandchildren will have their own blessings. Letting go is also a kind of fulfillment. Your father has protected your son, and now he has a good relationship. The Mu family will always cherish this favor, and his development will definitely go smoothly. North said, "Master, as long as he doesn't die, it's just a matter of words to get the Jida back. Besides, his character will definitely leave a way out." "I know," Qin Wan said, "it's just a little sad. The Jida is the first family I have a sense of belonging to. I thought I would be loyal to the Jida all my life. The trajectory of life has changed, no one expected. We can only let nature take its course and go all the way." Dr. North said, "Little Cherry, in fact, this matter has come to an end. If you and Rong Li really want to be together, it won't be that difficult. Although your uncle and father will disagree, there is no chance at all." "No." Qin Wan was startled. She had never thought about her and Rong Li's affairs. "Mom, I never thought about being with Rong Li. When you chose to have a child with Rong Li, didn't you like her at all?" North asked. Qin Wan lowered his eyebrows and said, "No, it's just the alcohol." Dr. North sighed softly, "Okay, Mom knows, and I won't say anything anymore." She hopes that Qin Wan will be happy, but her thoughts may not be Qin Wan's thoughts. Moi. End of this chapter. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 820. Chapter 820, Father and son have something to do. Ji Sun was not surprised when he learned that Zhang Junlin was determined to divide the Ji-dao. He and Lu Ziwen also discussed this. Zhang Junlin was not a hesitant person. He had a plan and had already made the decision. He just hid it. It is so deep that no one knows about it. Except for people like Ji Xian, it is difficult for others to pry into it. He insists on seeing Ye Ling, but there are some special things that he wants to avoid talking to Ye Ling about. So Lao Mu would not be told that Ye Ling had always been in a mental hospital, and Zhang Junlin's attitude was too tough at the beginning. Ji Sun also gloated that his brother had been tough all his life, and if Ye Ling's condition was unstable, it would really if he can't come back, how will he get down the stairs? Ye Ling was so generous that he really struggled to get out of the mental hospital. When he returned to China to meet him, he failed to appreciate Zhang Junlin's liveliness, which was a pity. Brother, in this life, he never gives others the opportunity to watch the excitement. However, Ji Sun guessed that Zhang Junlin would deliberately make things difficult for Ye Ling for a while, or put on a show for others to see, so he would not let go so easily. He would wait for Ye Ling for at least a week, and then the two sides would go back and forth again, and then stage a show of collapse in the middle. The drama, the final reconciliation and happy reunion, this was the script that Zhang Junlin expected. Unexpectedly, it was settled in one night, which was not like Zhang Junlin's style. Zhang Junlin sneered and said, "That's how the script is written." However, Ye Ling's body is not cooperative and his condition is unstable. If you delay for one day, there will be a risk of one day. Just finish the discussion early and he can leave early. How did he pass the trial when he was so ill? Ji Sun was really curious. In exchange for money. Don't you want to use a less perfunctory reason to deal with me? Ji Sun hooked his neck, pecked his lips, and asked sincerely. Zhang Junlin laughed. You think it's perfunctory, right? This is the real reason. Damn it, how much does it cost to exchange for such a position? Why didn't you tell me earlier and I asked the third master to buy one? Ji Sun felt that he had lost hundreds of millions. Can this position be bought with money? Then you are overthinking. This money is not money in your bank account, but rare minerals. Zhang Junlin said lightly. The European Ye family controls most of Ye Ling's property. If Ye Ling wants to get it back, he wants to those with some backgrounds can take what they need. It's not clear yet how passionate he is about this career. Then you can trust him and leave it to him. As long as I'm not dead, I can pull him down if I can get him up. Zhang Junlin opened Ji Sun's clothes with his long fingers. I'm going to die, and this matter will be out of my hands. The warm fingers slid across his collarbone, implicitly expressing his needs. Ji Sun, Ji Sun. It had only been 3 days since Ye Ling returned to China. He left after settling the matter and flew back to Paris. The matter was resolved without any news and did not alarm many people. Zhang Junlin, North and Gu Ci all started to sort out the Ji-dao industry. It began to slowly transfer to Te Ching, and those who could be merged were merged. Some talents were directly asked to leave by Gu Ziyu. Gu Ziyu had long been interested in the Ji-dao's intelligence center. Zhang Junlin was willing to spend money, and the scientific research center has always been abroad, and the technology and equipment have been advanced domestically. Monitoring, analysis, and tracking do not use a single system. Gu Ziyu is ambitious and wants to surpass in science and technology. He merges the two systems for research. Domestic and foreign operating systems have their own unique features and cannot be integrated. They cannot be solved overnight. Gu Ziyu also encountered many problems. For the unsolved code, Lu Ziwen was also invited to help. Dad, thank you for your hard work. Lu Ziwen's goosebumps trembled. When was the last time you called me daddy? When I grow up, I rarely shout the refrain. Don't worry about the details. Are you getting old and your knowledge has deteriorated? Lu Ziwen looked at the dense code and flicked it on his forehead. You have to find the engineers at the Science and Technology Center to solve this kind of problem for you. It is difficult for me to solve it by myself. Have you ever seen a satellite navigation system? Designed and completed by humans. I haven't asked you to solve it. Please help me find out what's the biggest problem first. The old guys over there are particularly annoying. I've been there twice. They are all old scientists. They think I'm young. Even if I'm a prodigy, I won't get it with so many degrees. I am still a bit inexperienced and have little experience. It is very difficult for me to communicate with them every time. They are all people of my great-grandfather's generation. I can't be too presumptuous, so I will first choose a few tricky questions and teach them. I can cure them. I've been busy with the wedding recently, so I'm too lazy to care about this matter of yours. Marriage is to start a family and have children. You have already done it. If you have a wife and children, the wedding is just a formality. What does it matter, Guzio said, if you don't solve it for me, I will go find my mother. Lu Ziwen. I got Yang without any warning. I lay down for 3 days and couldn't ask for leave. I'm sorry. End of this chapter.